Welcome to Trendy Flix, your ultimate destination for the latest in movies, TV shows, and streaming trends. Subscribe now and stay ahead of the entertainment curve.
How the WNBA went from an existential moment to record success. In spring 2020, as the COVID-19 pandemic upended the country, WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert was locked down in her New Jersey home. The league was facing a season on the brink right as its stakeholders felt it had begun to gather momentum. In conversations with league owners and players, Engelbert sensed in those early weeks of the pandemic the tension over what was at stake. Without a season, the league faced what she later called an existential moment about the prospect of going dark for 20 months. "I don't know if we would have made it, but I do know we wouldn't be where we are today without having had that highly competitive 22-game season in the bubble," Engelbert said. For years after the wobble, the league is celebrating the WNBA finals between the New York Liberty and Minnesota Lynx as a capstone to its most successful year. The WNBA has never been in a better place. Television ratings are up. So is attendance. The league is riding a boom in interest and talent, driven by the steady excellence of longtime stars like Aya Wilson and Brianna Stewart, and the arrival of Caitlin Clark. 3 expansion teams have already been named and another is expected. A lucrative new media deal is set to start in 2026. The progress has not been without its growing pains. For years, WNBA players pushed for private charter flights for teams traveling between games, a common practice for their peers in the NBA and most other major professional sports leagues, before the league granted them this season. Occasional high-profile games have been moved because of scheduling conflicts, and fans have voiced frustration about merchandise and broadcast accessibility. Engelbert received criticism from players, including an admonishment from the Players' Union, last month for what they said was an inadequate public response to the online harassment and abuse many said they've received this season. The union has also routinely called for more transparency from the league on its finances and operations. But the league remains on the ascent, and the choice to play in 2020 has been hailed by team owners as an important springboard. "I think it was one of the best decisions made in the history of this league," Seattle Storm co-owner Lisa Brummel said. "That decision kept the WNBA in the consciousness of fans and created a strengthened player body. As important, it continued to generate revenue via media rights and corporate partnerships." A few months after the conclusion of the 2020 season, the WNBA made another choice that significantly affected its trajectory. It began a capital raise that has helped supercharge its reach and popularity. It didn't have to come in from the shadows to do so. If not for that window of time, stakeholders say, the WNBA might not be where it is now. Before Engelbert took over as the WNBA's first official commissioner in 2019, the league was previously run by presidents. She had to interview with the league's team owners. As she went around the country, visiting all 12 markets, she heard a similar refrain. After nearly 3 decades of trying to find its footing, the WNBA's power brokers had decided it was time to grow. The plan, Engelbert said, was based on a simple idea: go big or go home. The league, they told her, needed more capital. There was no consensus on how much. Just that it needed more to grow. Engelbert sought perspectives from influential people around her. When she met Kobe Bryant late that year, she said he asked what the WNBA needed. Engelbert passed along the desire for more capital and floated $50 million as a target. That number turned out to be a fraction of what it later received from investors. In early 2021, the WNBA put out a pitch deck to investors. The process was driven, in part, by the Liberty's